Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Putty, and welcome back for another year of professional wrestling right here in the territories, right here in Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. A wonderful, wonderful, wonderful promotion that we have been booking for quite a while now. I've actually had a bit of a break in between recordings again, I know, and that's probably going to be happening a lot over the next couple episodes because I have a busy couple of weeks ahead of me. But the reason why we had a break this time is because I was trying to set up a collab for today. I might have mentioned this during the Benditch cameo episode 2 years ago, or I might not have, but the plan was every 2 years to do a tournament with a special guest. And I had special guests lined up for this week, two actually, a contingency and perhaps a triple threat was on the cards, but we all three of us, we had a busy schedule this week, and so it all ended up kind of falling apart, but that's okay. Because it means I can book the Ripcord Invitational, and it's a big year for Mid-Atlantic Wrestling, and it means that I can show off some of the best talent we have here to offer in the territories and beyond. Actually, not beyond this year; we only have territorial guys, but that is okay. Let me introduce you guys to 2022 with the bracket for the Ripcord Invitational. This, of course, actually is the 2022 is the final year of the 2013 series, which is quite interesting to me. You can tell, as usual, I have not resized this before the episode began. Very professional of me, as you, I hope, have come to expect by now. The professionalism here at Matsudiro Gaming is absolutely top-notch. So, in the top right corner we have Lightning Lomas, the fast-paced, energetic high flyer from Canada, taking on fellow Canadian but local MAW resident Davis Wayne Newton. And next up we have the exciting hot prospect of Roger Monteiro, taking on Olise Mercutio Sleep, or Mercutio Sleep, I think is probably how you pronounce that. The man who can put you to sleep with just one blow. Well, maybe it'll take him a couple. He's not quite Bradford Peverell. Let's not go that far. Also making his Mid-Atlantic Wrestling debut and his territorial debut is Earl Martin, who is a graduate of the Supreme University, spent a lot of time in Rhode Island Pro Wrestling, graduated to SWF, but recently was let go, and his first appearance on the independent scene is right here in Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. We will hear from him later, and we will see him in action. He's going to be taking on occasional cameo artist and smooth man, Austin Smooth, who comes in from Freedom Caribbean Wrestling down in Puerto Rico, a very, very excellent technical wrestler. We've seen him before, in for a big night if he can defeat Earl Martin and move on to the semi-finals, but he will meet either American Flash if he does make it there, or Dominic DeSouza. Of course, American Flash from CZCW, so brings that fast-paced action from the coastal zone, whereas Dominic DeSouza with a more down-to-earth, gritty grappling style that we've been come to associate with Deadly Dean Waldorf, and indeed that style is permeated and encouraged over there in New York City wrestling. So yeah, that's the tournament. Before we begin, I wanted to make a quick announcement that I've reached out to a couple of companies, and I've actually formed working agreements. They're small companies, not big ones. That's only so that I can send my hot prospects to those companies. Usually they're foreign companies, although I did make an agreement with Invincible Pro Wrestling down in California. I don't love Invincible because, of course, they're a rival to a territory down there, but it's a very different style of professional wrestling, and I felt like a lot of our roster could use a trip down there every now and then in their development. So I've come up with a new strategy. You may have seen last year that I put together a league table at the start of the year, tracking some of the not hot prospects, but the top contenders for the titles here in MAW, and I recorded their wins. I recorded their wins, losses, and draws throughout the territories, and I used that to make some decisions across the contendership. You may have seen that, you may not have. It's coming back in a couple months, so you'll be able to see it again if you don't know what I'm talking about. But anybody who's on that list, which I like to consider kind of the contenders list, I'm sending to 2 other territorial companies at least for the year, so that they can get matches under their belt, development, so they can get over in other territories, stuff like that. So anybody who I consider to be a contender, they're going to be working for 3 companies total if you include MAW. Then anybody who's on the next big things list, I want to send to 5 companies total. I start by sending them out to the territories, but then the guys on the next big thing list, I'm sending abroad. places like Australia. I've got a partnership with Zen now. I've got a partnership, I know we have Oli down in Mexico, but I've also got CILL down there to send to. We've got Invincible, which is a very different style. We've got an agreement with Warrior Engine in Japan, which is very similar to Invincible in style, but it gives them Japanese experience, lets them interact with a lot of Japanese workers, despite the fact that the promotion definitely isn't a Puro fed for any stretch of the imagination. It has a lot of Puro workers in it, and that's an interesting dynamic. We got other feds. We'll talk about this more in detail in future, but just so you know, one of the great things about developmental that we've developed over the last 2 years is that at the start of the year, and sometimes mid-year now, we're sending all of these guys out through talent trades to make appearances in lots of different feds, and it's really helping. It's really cool. I love this idea, and it means that we can just have a really cool developmental system going on. So, aside from that, let's get into the show. Apologies for the rant today, but you're used to it, I'm sure by now. It is the first episode of the year. I've had a break. Lots has happened, so let's get into the show. We kick it off with Davis Wayne Newton, who gets on the mic and says that tonight is a big opportunity for him. We are here for the first time in the centerpiece bridge for the greatest independent wrestling tournament in history. It is the Ripcord Invitational. It is the 17th edition of the Ripcord Invitational, and MAW is entering its 17th year as a promotion. And what you are looking at right now is a man who needs MAW. You know, I've had a rough life. I've had a very, very rough life. I've never quite fit in. Whether it's in schools, whether it's in wrestling academies, whether it's in promotions, it doesn't matter. I've never quite found a home. But here, MAW is the land of opportunity. Here in MAW, you take rejects like me and you turn them into something great. You've seen me over the last couple of years struggling, bobbing my head above water, but tonight is different. Because if I win that championship, if I win the Ripcord Invitational, all of my failures, all of me letting my friends down, all of that gets washed away. A fresh slate, a success. That's who I want to be. And tonight, I am willing to do anything to be a success. And it's gonna happen. I'm gonna wash everything away. All those schools I got kicked out of. The first 4 wrestling academies I tried to enter. Every single company that tried to use me. All of it gets washed away. And tonight, my career actually starts. And he indeed gets the first match of the evening. He's taking on Lightning Lomas. And indeed, he picks up the victory as Davis Wayne Newton defeats Lightning Lomas in about 12 minutes by pinfall, illegally using the ropes for leverage. Now, of course, Davis Wayne Newton has been known to be quite an above-board individual here in MAW. You know, we've seen he's been desperate. We've seen he's been down on his luck. But for the most part, he sticks to the rules of the game. He's an honorable fellow. And he's a nice guy, too. A lot of people who have met him in the back, a lot of people who have walked up to him and said hello have said that Davis Wayne Newton, he's a nice guy. He's a bit down on his luck, and that can make people turn a little stir-crazy. But he's a nice guy, and tonight, Lightning Lomas brought that energy, brought that ability down from Canada here in the States for the very first time and wants to make an oppression. Yes, he wants to make an oppression. He would like to bring that Canadian oppression, no, he wants to make an impression. Come down here and really put on a show, and he takes it to Davis Wayne Newton. Every single innovative maneuver in the book as he flies at Davis Wayne Newton. He flies at the triple threat, and he aggressively tries to target those weaknesses, but Davis Wayne Newton will not stay down. Davis Wayne Newton has that killer instinct, and he sees an opportunity to cheat, and he cuts that corner. Something we haven't seen him do before. He cuts that corner, and he does progress to the semi-finals. But Lightning Lomas must feel screwed over. As we move into our second quarterfinals match, is not Roderick Montero? Nope, that's really weird. Who's Gino's brother's name again? I forgot Luis Montero Jr. So, nope, no Montero, like, pass-off I can do to excuse that gaffe. Also, by the way, Monteiro, Roger Monteiro, as I've taken to pronounce that, no relation to Gino or Luis Montero, different spelling and, I think, different pronunciation. Roger Monteiro brings the high-flying coastal zone style, a lot of fast-paced wrestlers in the tournament tonight, hits those ropes, tries to build up the momentum, but Mercutio Sleep is not a man to be caught off by high pace or high aggression, because Mercutio Sleep is a seasoned luchador. He's American, I think. I probably should have checked that. But he didn't start his career in Lucha Libre, but he spent a lot of time in Oli. Tonight he comes representing Oli. And indeed, he has dealt with so many of the world's greatest luchadors. Nicolas Lopez, Marcos Flores, El Critico, Hijo del Mephisto, some of the greatest high flyers the world has ever seen. And Mercutio Sleep has worked with all of them, and he knows how to diffuse situations, he knows how to slow a pace down, and he knows how to deal with a high-flying luchador, and indeed that's what he does tonight. Mercutio Sleep, he manages to get in there and hit Monteiro hard with the brutal bombs and the brutal aggression that we are known to see from Mercutio Sleep, and in the end, brutally picking apart the luchador, and picks up the victory with that go to sleep. And we move on to Earl Martin, who comes out to the ring and says, "My name is Earl Martin. I used to work for the SWF, but they didn't like my style. I used to work for the SWF, but they didn't like what I stood for. You know, I'm very LA. You know, that's where I'm from, that's where I come from, that's the personality I hold, that's the situation I'm in, that's the exuberance that I exert. And they're very New York, they're very New England, they like it quieter, they like it more low key. And I come in and I start talking, I start looking at ideas, I start looking at the future, and I have ambition. I want to soar high and I want to break that glass ceiling, and they didn't like that. Now I don't want to throw shade at the company up north, because they got some good guys, and they got some good guys in management, they got some good guys in the ring. But I tell you, their style, it didn't fit with Earl Martin. They didn't want the most electrifying superstar in professional wrestling today. They didn't want the fast-talking, high-flying, greatest wrestler to ever come from the Supreme University, and I don't begrudge them that. But I think they made a mistake. But you know what? It's fine, because they didn't fit my style anyway. We had a style clash, as it were. I don't want to work in the big times. I don't want to work in the big, lights up, on the stadium style, even though I'm capable of it. I want to come down here to places where people work hard. I want to come down here to the independent scene where I know you put in your dues, you get what you deserve. And so I'm willing to take those blows and take those hits. And I'm willing to bring the LA style right here to Mid-Atlantic Wrestling and work my way up to the grandest prize in professional wrestling today, the World Heavyweight Championship. And it starts tonight with the greatest wrestling tournament in the business today, against one of the greatest wrestlers in the territories today, Austin Smooth. So you better watch, because you're going to see a lot more of Earl Martin. Whew, Jesus Christ. I really hope that I can refine that promo style a bit more, so I don't have to kill myself every time I cut a promo as him. Yes, as Earl Martin makes his debut against Austin Smooth, and indeed it's pretty good. As, Earl Martin, he's a master, well, we don't know this yet, but he shows himself to be a great technical wrestler tonight. He really works that technical style with Austin Smooth, as they, Jesus Christ, that promo, and it just, look, I'm not a fit man. You know, you've heard my videos over the years. You've probably heard a lot of heavy breathing. I'm not a fit man. And that promo just killed me. Jesus Christ. Yes, this is very, very, jockeying for position. We saw this style in the early days of the Architect Ernest Youngman feud, where they're not looking really to lock on a hold to wear you down. They're not looking to control anything. These two guys, they're not really looking for your traditional technical wrestling route to victory. What they're looking for is just to be flashy, to be entertaining, and to really appeal to the crowd. Earl Martin, he's got a smile on his face, big smile, really happy to be here. Not Apollo Crews style happy to be here, but wanting to prove himself. Hungry, aggressive, and indeed, he jockeys for position. You know, we get a back, what's the, fuck, my technical wrestling play-by-play is failing me here, but they go hold for hold. Alright, they go hold for hold. Locking in, this position, that position, maybe going for a suplex, float over behind, going for a hold, escapes out of it. You know, these two guys, they're not like Logan Wolfsbane. They're not like George Wolf. They're not the bigger guys who can power out of holds. They've got to slime ball their way out of a hold. They've got to move from hold to hold really slickly. And that's exactly what they do with some pace, with some poise, with some real skill on display here tonight, as they go from hold to hold and they try to gain the upper hand and they try to wow the audience with their technical skills. And Earl Martin, he's good, but he's not quite as smooth as the master, Austin Smooth. And indeed, as they move from hold to hold, you see that Austin Smooth is getting that upper hand getting that advantage, and in the end, he locks in the beautiful smooth hold. I think it's a full Nelson with a camel clutch. So it's like the master lock and the camel clutch mixed together. I think that's it anyway. But you can correct me in the comments if you wish. It's in his bio, so it's pretty easy to check. And he picks up the victory as Earl Martin submits. A poor match apparently. Didn't seem that way to me. I like these guys. I think they're very good. And Austin Smooth will meet American Flash in the semi-finals as Dominic De Souza is unable to impose a slower pace on this match with American Flash. Dominic De Souza bringing in that New York City gritty grappling mat work, trying to grind out a victory, as we know guys from New York are poised to do. Guys from New York, they like to grind out a match, and indeed he tries to impose his style and his tempo on this match, but it's just unable to do so with American Flash, a lad who has been to Mexico, is a multiple-time tag team champion in Mexico, works a lot in California, one of the fastest styles in the territories today, and he brings so much aggression and so much poise. He's an elderly gentleman too. I'm not talking like 40s, but he's in his mid-30s. He's been around a lot. He's a wily luchador. Yes, he leeches off of everybody. No, he's a wily luchador. He's got a head for it, and he's got a body for it, and indeed tonight, he brings the pace, he brings the tempo, high-octane, adrenaline rush from American Flash as he excites the crowd here at the centerpiece bridge and picks up the victory with his high-velocity senton. Innovative maneuvers from the American Flash as he comes to Mid-Atlantic Wrestling to make a statement and make it to the semi-finals, where he will take on Austin Smooth. And in the other semi-final, Davis Wayne Newton, the last remaining MAW representative, taking on Mercutio Sleep, the only Oli representative. Austin Smooth, by the way, representing FCW, and American Flash representing CZW. He's the last man standing from that promotion too, after Roger Monteiro got eliminated. Okay, right, good, excellent. Let's move on to a cool-down match, I suppose, as Scythe defeats Cowboy Brad Blaze by pinfall with an underworld spike. Cowboy Brad Blaze trying to bring that brawling style, that kind of barroom brawl style, fist fighter style that he brings to every match. He's a professional cowboy. There's only two things in professional wrestling he knows. Cowboying ain't easy, and his fists can beat up everybody. I don't know if those were the two things he said last time, but, it doesn't really matter. And he tries to beat up Scythe with those fists, but Scythe, we know him. He likes pain, and he's been incensed since having a bit of a downturn last year. Scythe is no longer the man who's just willing to enjoy pain. He's not paid by the hour, Scythe. And he gets things done. He's clinical, he's brutal, he's vicious. And in this match, indeed, he picks up the victory with that underworld spike. Good stuff from Scythe as he starts off the year with a victory. Moving on to the first semi-final match, as once again Davis Wayne Newton picks up the victory using the ropes for leverage. Davis Wayne Newton, what has happened to you? And you gotta say a good night for him, because he's made it to the finals of the greatest tournament in the history of professional wrestling. But he's done it in a very underhanded way, and I don't think many big winners of this tournament in the past would approve. Even George Wolfe, who won this tournament on 2 occasions and is generally considered to be a bit of a dick, even he doesn't like to cheat to win, and he won his 2 tournaments back-to-back, fair and square. You gotta look at this guy. Even I think Hollywood Brett Starr back in the day, the biggest cunt. I don't even think he cheated to win. So Davis Wayne Newton, I don't know if you're such a good guy anymore. I used to like you, Davis Wayne, and this match was great. Mercutio trying to use that psychology of his big bombs of fists. I don't know if that's the right term, but it's the one I'm using. Trying to go for Davis Wayne Newton. Davis Wayne has to use his pace and his speed to avoid the nasty strikes of Mercutio Sleep, one of the strongest hitting wrestlers in the business today. But indeed, Davis Wayne is able to use his stealth. Yeah, he just sneaks in the middle of the match. He's like, ooh, you can't find me. No, he uses his speed, he uses his agility to move out of the way of the deadliest strikes in the business today. He sees the opportunity, he cheats to win, picks up the victory, he's on to the finals, but at what cost? At what cost, Davis? Who will he meet in the finals? As Austin Smooth makes it to, I think it's his first Ripcord Invitational final, defeating American Flash in 14 minutes and 50 seconds by submission with the smoothest hold. The smoothest hold, I'm going to call it that. The smoothiest hold. That's right, yeah, smoothiest hold. Smoothest hold. Yeah, we have a lovely sequence between these guys as Austin Smooth uses his charismatic grappling, the type of stuff we've seen from Ernest Youngman in the past with a wink to the crowd and a smile on his face. He locks in so many holds you wouldn't even imagine. And they're so smooth, they're so brilliant. He is a pleasure to watch as he goes from hold to hold, working down the legs of American Flash. American Flash trying to bring the pace, trying to bring the aggression, trying to bring the California to Mid-Atlantic Wrestling as he tries to up the pace, hit the ropes, hit him with those high-risk moves, but Austin Smooth is too good. He's too good, and he works down on American Flash. He works down those legs. He clips the wings of the big high flyer, and indeed picks up the victory with that smoothest hold. And we'll be progressing, ladies and gentlemen, to the finals of the Ripcord Invitational 2022, which will be between Austin Smooth and MAW local Davis Wayne Newton. But first, we have the return of the Frat Pack for one night only as they get defeated by the impromptu team of the Mean Machine and the return of the monster, James Diaz. Indeed, the Frat Pack come back and they try to hit him with their high-flying, fast-paced MAW-style wrestling. Trying to hit him with that really fast-paced stuff. But James Diaz, the Mean Machine, they're big, they're strong, they're scary, they're aggressive, they're huge. You wouldn't want to meet them in a back alley. And they've got all the power you could possibly want in the world. And they use that power. They beat down on their opponents viciously, brutalizing them in the middle of the ring. And eventually, they pick up the win when the Mean Machine defeats Hal Harvard with a metal face jam. Good victory for the debut tag team of the Mean Machine and James Diaz, who have both been incredibly successful singles wrestlers in their rookie years. Still very young lads, both of them, around the age of 20. Before the finals, Ernest Youngman comes out and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mid-Atlantic Wrestling 2022. I am your captain speaking." That's right, because this year is the year of Ernest Youngman. You're looking at the Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Champion. You're looking at the Wrestling Machine. The best there's ever been. The assassin of the squared circle. And where it all begins again last year, I became the ace that runs this place. I know I don't want to have an ego about this. I want to keep my feet firmly on the ground. And, a part of doing that is looking at this tournament and noticing that the man who wins this tournament is about on the same level as the man who holds this championship. And so, I want to put on a spectacle. I want to have a real respectful contest. So next month at the Wrestling Classic, I want to put on a match for the ages. So I lay down the challenge. Ernest Youngman, the Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Champion, defends his title against the winner of this tournament. Either Davis Wayne Newton, a man who I really, really respect, a man who has been through everything in this business, a man not unlike myself. You see, when I came back to wrestling in 2017, or 2018, when I had a 6-month hiatus from professional wrestling, and only one company would take a risk on me. Only one company would pick me up. That was MAW, and I see myself in Davis Wayne. But you know what? Austin Smooth is one of the greatest technical wrestlers on this planet. He loves this wrestling business, and he takes every step in that ring like one of life's simplest pleasures. I love that about him. So you know what? Whoever wins tonight, they're both incredible athletes. They've both done very well to get this far, and they both deserve a shot at my championship. And so the offer is out there. The winner tonight, Ernest Youngman, next month at the Wrestling Classic. And I don't have an ego about this, but I'm going to win. Because giants may fall and diamonds may fade. But Ernest Youngman is forever, baby, and I'm going to be keeping a close eye on this main event of the evening. And he heads to the commentary booth to watch our main event of the evening. It is for the Ripcord Invitational Trophy, the greatest tournament prize in American independent wrestling history. It comes down to two, representing Freedom Caribbean Wrestling in Puerto Rico, the Puerto Rican territory, Austin Smooth Easy Money, one of the greatest technical wrestlers in the business today, versus Davis Wayne Newton, a man who is down on his luck, a man who's been to every company in this territorial system and never quite seems to have found a home. But he's gotten to the finals tonight. Whatever his methods, you have to commend him. Can he go all the way? No. In a decent match, Austin Smooth defeats Davis Wayne Newton by submission with the smooth hold, and Austin Smooth wins the Ripcord Invitational Challenge. A fantastic victory from Easy Money, Austin Smooth, as Davis Wayne tries to pick up the pace, tries to go at him with his fast-paced grappling, a mixture of suplexes, Hurricane Ranas, a mixture of drop kicks, punches. Davis Wayne, a master of all. A jack of all trades, master of none, actually, I would probably say. As indeed, Austin Smooth is able to pick him apart when he tries to go for that technical wrestling that Austin Smooth is a master of. And that's right, Austin Smooth is a master technical wrestler, and he's able to work over the triple threat, able to work him down and grind him out. And indeed, despite the fact that Davis Wayne Newton tried to cheat, tried to pull the tights, tried to put his legs up on the ropes, even tried to hit Austin Smooth with a steel chair while the ref wasn't looking, all of the things they tried to do, Austin Smooth was able to overcome. Grappling his arm out of that steel chair into a lovely armbar, transitioning into the smooth hold, and picking up the victory, lifting the trophy as streamers come from the crowd, confetti falls from the sky, and ladies and gentlemen, your 2022 independent champion, the man above all else, above everyone else. He came through 3 matches, 7 other men, and is the Ripcord Invitational Challenge champion. Austin Smooth, Easy Money, a fantastic victory for the man, the myth, the legend. Whew, thank you all for watching. Well, actually, I'm just going to end the show. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a thumbs up. Check out the rest of the series. Subscribe if you haven't already. There's a link to my Patreon in the description if you're feeling especially generous. And if you just want to hear me ramble about random shit, there's a link to my Twitter in the description. The game seems to think this was a bit lower than our usual quality. What do you guys think? And are you excited for Austin Smooth versus Ernest Youngman next time? My voice is very clearly dying. This isn't even as long as the tournament 2 or 3 years ago, and it went like 40 minutes, but I really enjoyed this. I went into this tournament thinking, the names aren't exactly strong. I really want to do my best to give this tournament something, and I think I did. So I hope you guys agree. I really enjoyed the show tonight, and I hope to record some more. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Have a good day, lads. Seriously. Bye-bye.